You're not ungrateful. You're awake. This is the Dignity Room, a place that's always yours. Come in.
So you made the map, and maybe last time when you heard the last episode where we talked about it, maybe you do your map right now while listening, or maybe it's been sitting in the back of your mind since we talked about in the last episode. And the map was probably uncomfortable. So either you did it or not. So let's start from here. The column marked yours alone, so when you do your map, was smaller than you would like, maybe significantly smaller. And now there's a question sitting there, not quite formed yet, maybe. Something like, okay, I see it, but where do I even begin? And that's what today is for. And I want to start with something honest because I think it matters. And yeah, I am not on the other side of this. I haven't built a completely robust financial floor and then turned around to teach you how. I'm somewhere, let's say, in the middle of it myself, still figuring out the right shape, still making the small, unglamorous decisions that will over time add up to something real. So, this is not going to be expert advice from someone who has it sorted. It's going to be something I think is more useful, an honest conversation about how it starts from someone who has started and is still in it. So, as I started last episode, I ask you to make the map. And when you don't have it yet, go back to the last episode and do your map. And so, yeah, when you do your map, you see clearly what's yours, what's joint, and what's not really accessible to you alone. And today we move from the map to the first real step. And I want to name something about how beginnings actually work, because there's a version of this that sounds in your head like a big formal project. Something that needs the perfect conditions before it can start. So like enough spare money or a clear plan or the right moment, a conversation you will eventually have. None of those need to happen first. In fact, waiting for perfect conditions is the most reliable way to never start at all. So, beginnings are always imperfect, always small. That's what makes them beginnings instead of plans you never act on. So, today is about one thing, not a system, not a full strategy. One first real doable step taken now in the actual conditions of your actual life. So, the most common reason women don't begin is not that they don't want to. It's that the distance between where they are and where they need to be feels so large that starting seems almost pointless. Or it's also scarcity because of finances, because nobody talked with them about that. And so this could be also the case. But you can learn everything. And yeah, I mean, we as women, we are very smart. So I don't think you will have a problem. And if the goal is, let's say, 3 to 6 months of living costs sitting in an account of your own, and right now you have almost nothing in your own name, the gap looks enormous. So the first small step looks embarrassing by comparison. And that feeling is one of the most reliable ways to stay exactly where you are. So I want to be very specific about something. Think about the difference between 0 and something, not between something small and something large. That difference is just arithmetic, solvable over time. The difference between 0 and nothing is a different kind of thing entirely. 0 is a category. 0 means nothing has started. So it means you are exactly where the map showed you, at a place where no independent action is possible. Something, even a very small something, changes the category. It means a direction exists. It means a decision was made. And it means you are no longer building from nothing. The amount matters eventually, but not yet. What matters first is the category shift from I have nothing that is only mine to I have something small that is only mine. That shift, in terms of how you feel and what you believe is possible, is larger than any number attached to it. So the day I moved from 0 to something was not the day the number felt adequate. It was the day I understood that I had started, that there was a direction and I was moving in it. That quiet fact changed how I stood in every money decision I made after that point. Not because the money was significant yet, because something was mine. So, what does a first cushion actually look like? Let me give it a shape without pretending to give you a financial plan, because your real numbers are something only you and someone who actually knows your situation can work with properly. So, the shape is this: a separate account in your name only, not connected to the joint account, not something your partner has visibility into through a shared app. Quietly, simply, only yours. At most banks, opening a personal account takes less than 20 minutes online, so you don't need to meet a financial threshold first. It starts at whatever you put in. And then, as regularly as your actual life allows, a small amount goes into it, not the leftover at the end of the month. Leftover money reliably never accumulates. By the time it's left over, it's usually already spent on something that needed paying. Redirected money is different. A small, fixed amount that moves to your account first before it disappears into the shared flow. Small enough that its absence from the joint account isn't dramatic. Regular enough that over months and years it becomes something real. So I'm not going to give you a specific number or percentage, because what's realistic varies so much that any number I name will feel either too big or too small for your actual situation. So what matters is that it's consistent and that it's redirected rather than left over. And if you have money that arrives outside the main joint flow, so like freelance work or a bonus or a gift, a refund, think of that as the natural starting point, not because it's more legitimate than your salary, but because it's often money whose absence from the joint account would be least noticed. And it's the clearest example of money you could redirect without disrupting anything. None of this is complicated. None of it requires a big decision for a difficult conversation. It requires an account to be opened and a small amount to move into it regularly until it becomes a habit and then a reality. The unsexy truth about financial floors is that they are almost always built exactly this way, not in one dramatic decision, in 100 small, quite unremarkable ones. And let me save you from two things. So the first one is it will feel too small to matter. So around month 3 or 4, when the account has something in it, but not nearly what it needs to eventually hold, you will look at the balance and feel let's say a little flicker or a pull or a sense of defeat. This is so far from where I need to be. What's the point? So when that thought arrives, and most likely it will, have your answer ready. The point is not the number today. The point is that a direction exists and you are in it. The number today is not the same as the number in a year or in 2 years or 5 years. The defeat you feel at month 4 is a normal part of building something real. It's not evidence that you are doing something wrong. And the second one is the money will feel urgent, needed for something else. So at some point, a real expense will come, and the money in that account will look very tempting. An unexpected bill or something that needs paying now, and you will think, I will borrow from myself and put it back later. Don't do this. This is the most important rule the whole thing rests on. Not because the expense isn't real, but because a cushion you spend in the first emergency never actually becomes a cushion. It becomes a temporary holding account that gets absorbed back into the life, which is exactly where your money has always ended up before. So this account is a category, not just a balance, something that is yours, held, building for the specific purpose of making your choices real. Everything else finds another way to pay it for. This is the one thing that doesn't, okay? You can't afford to leave yet. Many of you can't right now, today. That's not a failure, that's just where you're starting from. But starting from there is completely different from staying there. The floor gets built one small, boring, unremarkable deposit at a time. And one day, without any signal dramatic moment, you look down and realize you are finally standing on something solid enough to actually choose from. All right, so there are your 3 things to take with you today. 1, the most important shift isn't from small to large. It's from 0 to something. 0 is a category. Nothing has started. Something means a direction exists. That category shift in how you feel and what you believe is possible is larger than any number attached to it. Start here. 2. The shape of a first cushion, a separate account, only yours, funded by a small amount that's redirected, not leftover. Leftover money never accumulates. Redirected money does. Open the account first. The amount flows. And 3, 2 things will try to stop you. Around month 4, it will feel too small to matter. The direction is the point, not the number today. And one day the money will feel urgently needed for something else. Don't use it. A cushion you spend in the first emergency never becomes a cushion. Keep it a category, not just a balance. That's the whole discipline the floor rests on.
I'm still walking this path too, and I made something for the walk, just for you. No stage, no pedestal. One woman to another. It's in the show notes, whenever you're ready. This was the Dignity Room. Come back soon.